Hi, welcome to the Canon Academy. You're a homeschool and I'm a homeschool grandmother. This is my second video in a series I wanted to do to help everyone who is currently thinking of homeschooling, whether they were already thinking about it or they are thinking about it now because of the stay-at-home orders with the pandemic and schools being out. So this one will touch on researching your homeschooling options. And the first step you need to do is check with your DOE, Department of Education, and see what their guidelines and requirements are for your area. On their website, you should be able to find not only those requirements, but state standards, possibly a scope and sequence, the Core 40 diplomas, which type of diplomas are offered, what credits in which subjects, and how many are needed to meet those requirements. As well as homeschool help sheets that will help you get started on your journey through homeschooling. The second step I would say would be to read everything you can get your hands on about homeschooling. And that includes watching videos, obviously, on YouTube. I spent numerous hours at the library checking out books, going through books, seeing which ones I wanted to take home, which ones I didn't. I've read hundreds and hundreds of books over the years, and on doing so there were a few that I definitely wanted to own so that I could just refer back to them. The first one being the Complete Home Learning Source Book, which is the essential resource guide for homeschoolers, parents, and educators, covering every subject from arithmetic to zoology. Now what they do in this book is, of course, they break it down by categories. They give you notes at the front of the book that tell you that the prices and shipping may have changed, that some things are out of print as of the day that they printed the book, and I'm sure since this particular edition was published in 1998 that several of those resources have probably gone out of business or changed hands also. So if you see something you like and look it up, make sure they're still there and available. If they're not, then just Google it and find a new source for that. They also break it down and have little boxes on each resource that they offer, and it'll have ages in there, like appropriate for 5 to 8, appropriate for 13 and over. These are parent and teacher tools. They break it down whether it's audio or just curricula or in a kit or hands-on activity. Another book I like is actually from the Core Knowledge series. I'm sure that you've all probably heard of these. This particular one is What a Third Grader Needs to Know. These actually go from preschool through grade 8. They cover all subjects. There's poetry, prose in here, math, fine arts, science, social studies, and music, so much more. Also, as part of that series is a book called Books to Build On, which is a grade-by-grade resource guide for parents and teachers. And they actually give you the books, like this is Language Arts grade 6, so it gives you books for poems that you might want to take out, stories, myths of ancient Greece and Rome. And they break it down from kindergarten through 8th grade. Another book that you might be interested in is How to Teach Your Child, A Parent's Guide to Helping Get A's. Now, this book was originally $11.95 at the educational store when they originally sold it. I was able to get my hands on it for $1 through an auction that was closing out the store, and for $123 the first trip and $26 on my second trip, I was able to get quite a bit of learning materials. That first time for $123, my shopping cart was full to the top and overflowing. I was able to get for $1 a set of metal weights in grams that I will be using later as the littles that I'm teaching this time around are older. So this book actually helps supplement if your children are in school, and if they're not, you can use it as a basis to build on. And it covers subjects like phonics, reading, writing, spelling, math, science, and more. So another one of my great buys is this book, which I was able to buy through Half Price Books for $2 on clearance. And it was originally $16.95. Homeschooling the Teen Years, your complete guide to successfully homeschooling the 13 to 18-year-old. Create unlimited learning on a limited budget. Discover teaching methods for teens with different learning styles. Utilize the best resources and technology and prepare your teen for college, career, and adult life. Wonderful book by Kathy Cohen. I would say you could even use it for your preteens. And this book is obviously one of my favorites because of all my tabs, which I tend to do if I like an idea or something. This one, for instance, I marked this page because I had websites and resources for math, most of which I know are still out there because I looked them up a little while ago. So this is the Big Book of Homeschooling by Dept. Wonderful book. Another half-price book purchase for $2 is the Homeschooling Book of Answers by Linda Dobson. 101 of the most important questions answered by homeschooling's most respected voices. And what it does is it gives you categories and questions, and then it tells you the page to look up the answers. And there are at least 2 or 3 homeschooling families, most of who are pretty well known once you really dig deep into this, giving you advice and tips on how they do things. And of course, it's up to you if you take that and run with it, or if you come up with your own way of doing things. And then there's this book, Homeschool Your Child for Free. More than 1,200 smart, effective, and practical resources for home education on the internet and beyond. You can't beat for free. Homeschooling does not have to cost a fortune. Yes, curriculum that comes with your teacher's manuals, laying everything out for you, and how to do the grades on it, and everything, and what materials you need, and all the books and all the supplies and everything are wonderful. Being able to send tests and assignments off to somebody else and have them grade it and give you back the feedback and everything, whether it's online or distance learning through the mail, whatever, those are great. Don't get me wrong, because I have used some of them before. However, you do not need to do that. You can save so much money and spend that money elsewhere. I have homeschooled for as little as $20. I have spent as much as $200 or $300, and we have also spent as much as $2,000 for a year's worth of curriculum for one child. Sometimes with the $20 to $200, I was homeschooling more than one child. Now, if I find a workbook or something I like and I have more than one child that might be using it, I use my black and white printer, and we just run pages. If it's a page that says that you need to circle something that was this color, then I will sit up the night before and I will color it with pencils, or if the child's old enough to understand what I'm telling them, give them the colored pencils and let them do it, and then we work the page. So it's just that easy. The next thing, there are 2 other books that I could not locate because I'm in the process of reorganizing my library here at my house while I am child-free. These 2 books will be Homeschooling for College Credit and Completely Free College 2016, both of whom were written by Jennifer Cook DeRosa. And I wish I had found these books a lot sooner than I did, but they were still very helpful. She also has a Homeschooling for College Credit Facebook group page, and then there's one also for each state under the same title with the state worked into the title. Another homeschool page that I belong to is Hip Homeschool Moms. We go there to ask each other questions, to answer each other's questions, to vent, to encourage each other. And there are at least 15 other groups similar to that I belong to, as well as buy and sell Facebook groups, whether they're teacher girl groups, homeschool groups, specific curriculum groups that allow you to buy and sell on Facebook. I would also say check out Amazon, eBay, half-price books, any library sales in your area, yard sales, the Goodwill book bin. I love that book bin. Then there's also a place called Chegg.com, Chegg.com, and they sell and rent textbooks. Something to think about. Also, my advice is to make a notebook or a binder where you can keep your ideas for homeschooling, goals that you'd like to achieve for yourself, for your child or children, as the case may be, different ways you can do that. Don't let all the information out there overwhelm you or weigh you down. It can do that so easily. There's just so much out there. You know, out of anyone in the world, you know your child best because you've been teaching them since birth. You've probably been helping with homework and e-learning, things like that. So you know what motivates your child, what doesn't, what their interests are. And I don't really want to take anything away from the teachers in the brick and mortar schools at this time either, because I know that they put a lot of work into their lesson plans and how to present that and gathering it all together and making sure that your child's able to learn. They have a lot of hoops to jump through, and they have too many students that they have to do it with. You know yourself probably by now, if you're doing it with 1 to 3 or 4 kids right now, you're probably losing your mind, and think of them when they have 20 and 30 in the room. So most of them are doing the best they can with the rules and regulations they have and the resources and working with that many children. And so with that being said, I would say that that's what you need to do right now, is do the best you can with the resources you have, the materials you have, and the number of children you have. It can be done. You can teach more than one grade level at a time. I will do that in another video. So if you decide to do homeschooling, that's exactly what you have to do. Just like everyone else is doing, the teachers, everyone. Just dig in, do the best you can, relax. If a break is needed, take a break, whether it's just an hour, a half a day, or the whole day, and come back to it again the next day. Now, don't make that a routine, because then it will get away from you and your child, and it will be harder to come back to it. But a day here, a day there, an hour, 2 hours, it's fine. You have to be willing to learn yourself and be willing to make changes, because you're going to be asking your child to do the same thing. So be flexible, breathe, relax, life happens, and you've got this. I promise. So, that being said, if this was very informative for you and you found it helpful, then please like it and subscribe below. If you have questions, put them in the comments. I will check back at a later time, see what those comments are, and answer to the best of my abilities. Again, I hope that I was able to help someone out there. That was the purpose of making this video. Thank you, and be safe from the Cannon Academy.